take. I love it.
They're going to lose.
You think so?
100%.
I just feel like this series should go 7. It's been such a great series.
Feel it in my bones.
Okay. I mean, who cares? There's one real team in Philly. Right?
They're good.
Yeah, they're really good. We good?
Yeah, we're alive.
We're live. All right, here we go. Yo, it is another edition of the High Hopes podcast, sponsored by Miller Lite, the official sponsor of the Philadelphia Phillies. Tastes like Miller Time, Philadelphia. Celebrate responsibly. Jack Fritz, what if I told you the Phillies went 7-3 on a road trip early in the season in April? They just went out and won 5 of 6 in California. What? What, Jack? What team am I watching? Who is 21-11? Did you know April's over? The Phillies have the most wins in baseball. Like, what team is this, buddy?
And again, they're still not first in the division.
Yeah, I know. It's infuriating.
It's sickening. I think the biggest thing that I felt on the road trip, and the biggest thing that I felt just about this team for a while now, and it's that they're just different. Like, I know they got off to the slow start, the first,
but they didn't. It was just a
week.
few games, and we all freaked out. Like, they've gotten off to a great start.
And they backed up what they said
No doubt.
They backed up what they said in spring training, and they've come out and they've just done it. And this is different than the other team. Like, this is how they fully arrived. And obviously they don't have the title, but this is what the 07-11 Phillies did, is they just go out and take care of business, and that's where this team is. Isn't it? It's kind of funny thinking about the history of the Phillies. It's like one of the 3 best Phillies runs in the history of the franchise.
There's no question it is.
Like
Not like one of. It is the third, as of right now, already the 3rd best run, and who knows what'll happen. But yeah, it's 76-83 or whatever. 07-11 right now.
Yeah. And they barely existed before the year 1976.
Yes. No. Not 100, almost 100 years ago.
I know 1950. I know 1964. But
1915 as well.
No, who could
don't
forget?
You forget those swashbuckling 1915 Phils.
Why did it take them so long to win before 1916? Even that was like 40 years.
I know, and there weren't that many teams.
God, what are they're just something, man.
I mean, again, I think it's like 32 out of 33 years they were under 500
Dude,
for a stretch. Think about that.
If you look at the Baseball Reference, it's the funniest.
I know, it's so great.
Because if there's ever an era that I would like to go back to and do High Hopes during, is 1916 to 1949, I believe.
Yeah, that's about as high hopesy as it gets.
I think there was 1 year they were 500.
It was 1 year. One year above 500. Yes.
Like how,
I think, and they were like a game or two over 500.
Like how did the franchise survive?
Yeah.
Like they sucked. They were so bad.
Well, that's how you get to 10,000 losses before anyone else.
No one better. So it's like, again, We've tried to do this the last 2 postings, the last couple of years. Like, really soak this in because this is pretty good, man.
It's rarefied air for us, is what it is. Yeah.
And maybe I am like the stupid guy that like is just so dumb that the blinders are on. Like, this is going to be my life now.
I'm so in on it. Yeah. No, they've redone the organization. Between John Middleton and Dave Dombrowski, I think we can safely say the Phillies will never be bad again. What a throw. What a thrill.
I want you to.
What a thrill.
I want you to knock on some wood. But yeah, they went out. They said all spring training, we're going to start hot. We're going to start hot. And they've just gone out and totally backed it up. Was the Angels series the most inspiring series?
No, not really. No.
And yesterday,
and they did lose the first game of it. Like,
And they should have won that. But regardless.
Yeah. Well, you could argue they should have lost game 2.
And they should have probably lost yesterday.
They definitely should have lost it.
It was not the most inspiring.
I mean, the fact that I would have bet in the moment when the ball went off the bat, I would have bet my life that ball was going out.
So I didn't see it. And here's the disaster of yesterday. I did. No.
So a little inside baseball before the pod. We were just talking about the series, and Jack's like, well, yesterday was a disaster for me. We'll get into it. So let's get into it.
Thank you. I did watch the game when I got home. Like, I did. And it was just excruciating because yesterday is my mother-in-law's 65th birthday.
Happy birthday.
And
Phil's mom, happy birthday.
And, like, we go over to my brother-in-law's house to watch it, or to hang out, not watch the Phillies, believe it or not. And
that wasn't part of the birthday plan.
I thought we were all on the same page.
I mean, you were part of this family now, right? I mean,
for years.
I mean, they've known you since you were a child, but no big deal.
Sickening. So I get over there, and they inform me, cut cable.
Wow.
So I'm like,
whoa,
so
buddy.
So I get over there. They cut cable. I'm on all their little streaming apps. Nothing. I'm on my phone. The stupid app, the NBC app should be able to do it.
Yeah.
But it's not taking my login. So I had to freaking just sit there and just look at updates on my phone. It was a disaster. I hated it. And then I was like, well, why aren't you present at dinner? Because I'm trying to follow the game. They have a 1-run lead with Soto in the 9th, and I can't experience this agony.
First and third one out, no less. Yes.
So that's why. That's why I'm not present. Please, leave me alone.
Yeah.
I'll get around to give me 5 minutes.
This is 100% on your family and on you. I mean, no better.
What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, outside of just you being you, it's actually your job. I know it's a ridiculous excuse to use.
I should make them.
But it is true. I say it to Emily all the time, sorry, I gotta watch this. It's my job. But it is.
I should make them get cable again.
You should.
Because I'm not coming over.
No.
I will
next time, just
stay
bring
at
your
home.
laptop and be ready, be prepared.
Yeah, but dude, well, you know what's dumb?
Honestly,
you
should
dumb?
just put the laptop on the table while you're eating with them and say, sorry, this is what you've done. This is your fault.
So it's a really good point. And I wish you would have told me that yesterday because my laptop was in my car.
Yeah.
So I had the whole time. And
No.
Yeah, no. I had it the whole time. No, I did.
Just could have walked outside.
Could have walked outside.
Yeah,
could have avoided the whole thing.
Yeah.
Again, really bad.
Yeah.
And again, so there's another annoying thing that's been happening to me.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm really
and this is
another
portion of the family.
Yes.
And it's really just a lot of people in general. So the worst thing, and this is not gatekeeping.
Just the amount of times you have to say this is not gatekeeping.
It sound like gatekeeping.
Pretty good.
But the worst part about the Phillies being good is that everyone has an opinion on it. And what I've had to deal with the other the cousins in the family is them telling me everything they think, even though they didn't start watching until the World Series in 22, and then missed probably most of the regular season last year until about August.
Yep.
And then tell me everything that's going on.
You love that, though.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
So I'm currently fighting about 1 million battles in Jill's family, but one day at a time. And no one seems to understand. Just leave me alone.
Yeah, this is not hard for you.
Yeah,
it's just very simple.
I think if there's one person, you haven't changed that much, but if there's one person that is about the same as they've always been,
it's definitely
it's this guy.
Yeah, big
time. It's
big
this
time.
guy. So you knew what you were getting into.
I mean, you've been the same the entire time I've known you. I feel like you've just always been like a 50-year-old guy.
Pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
it really is remarkable.
Yeah,
you've been 50 since the moment I met you. You're in your early 20s.
You know what's me bad though? Is that when I get 50, I'm like, this sucks, man. I really I should have really embraced.
Let me tell you, pal. Let me tell you. Yes, yeah. You know it sucks. Everything hurts all the time.
Yeah.
I'll take a nap and I'll wake up. I'll be like, why is my arm hurt? And then it hurts for 3 days because I slept on it weird. So that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right. I stayed up for the other Angels games, so I guess that. Makes
I did. So that's it. It evens out. I did not. I missed, sadly,
I can't believe you missed the Johan Rojas.
I know.
I mean, you want to talk about some highs of highs.
You
go from the Maxi shot, the Maxi takeover, straight into a Castellanos.
Unbelievable. Well, not straight into it. It was like 3 hours after that, or 2 hours after that.
It was like 20 minutes. But
bro, they were in the second inning when the Sixers game ended. Trust me, because I was like, should I stay up a little longer? I was like, second inning, gotta go to bed.
You might be right. But
I know I'm right.
But and this is where you appreciate Castellanos.
Yeah.
The absolute stones
to call it
just
when
point
to put
that
it down. I was like, who are you, dude?
Are you
kidding me? Especially because it barely got out.
It did barely get out.
Both of them, both Rojas and his homers were obviously less thrilling when you read about it and then you come in and watch it the morning of, before the show I was watching it. But when I came in, they were exactly what I would have expected with those homers. It was like, I'll bet they just cleared.
Well, you're batting 171. You got 3 extra base hits on the year.
I know.
And he's I got that.
And then he comes out and rocks the golden sombrero yesterday.
He did, which sucked because when
felt like he was going a little bit.
When he hit the home run, he had 3 hits. Some of them were bloopers, whatever. And then what really got me was the celebration after the game where they came together and they did the thing, and I was like, bang, Cassie's back.
Well, especially to his quote where he's like, I was so happy to come through. He's like, because I haven't most times this year. It was like, man,
seltzer, yeah.
But it's like, own that stuff,
Cassie.
man. It's right. He owns it. I do appreciate how he, like, as much as almost any athlete I remember, like, we have a lot of those guys, like the Harper, I Boo Me Too and all that, but like Castellanos will tell you he's sucking, and I do appreciate that because we can see it.
Well, it's pretty hard to, because he sucks so hard when he sucks. Like it's not even just like a mix in a single every once in a while. It's like, I'm over my last 30.
I will say yesterday he did have a couple nice foul balls.
Yeah. He did. No, I know. It sounds like so excuse-making.
It sounds so sad, but he did.
Dude, he almost had
one I thought was a homer. I mean, it was close, or at least a double. The one in the corner.
If we're gonna be as fair and balanced as possible, he's like he's probably a combined 10 inches away from 2 doubles yesterday.
There you go.
So you can take your little 0 for 4 and shove it.
He did. It was nice to see him pull the ball down the left field line. Like I was like, oh yeah, that guy.
That's the guy that
was pretty cool.
Has the most doubles in baseball.
He could do that. Wow. Yeah. So
right.
Look, 7-3 on the trip.
Yes.
Got to be happy with that. And honestly, a 5-1 jaunt to California. It really, like, this team is different. Like you said, they are different. Even like yesterday, Zach Wheeler, it's like, wow, Wheeler sucked yesterday. 5 innings, 1 run. It's like that's a Wheeler sucks performance now. Is 5 innings, 1 run. Like this team is just, they are stacked, man. They are top to bottom so well put together, especially on the pitching side of things.
Yeah, and you want to know what's interesting? Is that like they go out west, and you could have made the argument they didn't get blown out in any game.
No,
like, there's actually them kind of blowing it more than the other team just kind of taking it to them. The one thing that I find so interesting, because I feel like we're pretty good about how, like, having a feel for things, and obviously the starting staff's been ridiculous. I would say that out there was like Sanchez just back-to-back starts, hasn't really had it. Wheeler didn't have it yesterday, but obviously the starting staff's the starting staff. And
Turnbull was good again. Didn't go deep, but it was good.
Yeah. I'm so surprised they have the worst bullpen ERA in baseball.
It's the worst.
It's the worst bullpen ERA in baseball.
Still?
And I think it's even with, if you take out Pinto and Brogdon, it's like 5 point. Now, this is before the game yesterday.
That is shocking, though.
It was before the game yesterday. It was 5.21.
So it would have gone down.
If you took out Pinto.
It was 4 shutout yesterday.
It was 4 shutouts, so that'll help. Usually you can feel when your bullpen sucks. I haven't felt it.
I feel like I can point to like the Soto out. Like you can point to kind of obviously the first 2 games of the season. Like I don't really remember any other spots where the bullpen was really bad.
Like the 2 guys I really don't trust right now.
I mean, Sir Anthony
and Soto. Like and
even then Soto, like,
Soto's
I'm
just
with you. He's just too inconsistent. He's too inconsistent. But yesterday, like, gets first and third, went out. And then freaking, like, that was a great strikeout, but then also could have been a home run at it. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think Soto, it's Sir Anthony with a bullet by himself as the one I don't trust the most, but I agree. Soto would be number 2.
Soto's there. And I know he's been good. I just need to see it so much more before I'm like, all right, he's good. Because he has those performances where, like, bang, here's three earned.
I think the thing with Soto is that I don't think you can ever truly feel that those. Like, he will always have those. He could give you 2 months of being one of the best relievers in baseball, and then he's going to have one of those outings where he just doesn't have the control, and he's going to be all over the place. And, so it's just, he's one of those where, like, you never feel fully comfortable.
Right. But, like, you go through it, and everyone else I feel really good about. And I feel good about Hoffman. Hoffman's back to, like, 97.
He's been awesome.
He's so good.
Awesome.
He's so good.
I mean, Strami, awesome.
Well, and that's what I wanted to bring up, is, like, and maybe it's load management. Maybe it is. I hope that's what it was.
Why they're using him so little?
Dude, he didn't pitch since Wednesday.
I know.
And there's a tie game he could have came into. Like, there were spots he came in after
the Sir Anthony
Marte.
spot. I mean, the law, like, that's where, like, you even said it. You're like, why wasn't Strom in that spot?
Well, there was that. And then the next game was when they brought in freaking Marte.
Marte, yeah.
And then Strom's in when you're already down by 2. That made no sense to me. So
Now, to be fair, Marte should have been out of that inning.
He should have been.
Yes. That was about as bad a defensive play as you'll ever see a shortstop make. I mean,
it was not great. He's been better defensively. That was a step back.
Yes, it was.
A step back. So, but yeah, the Strom thing I hope is just like we're managing his innings. They used him a lot the first 2 weeks of the year, and now we got to like stretch him out a little bit in between appearances. But yeah, there's a couple times where I was like, what are we doing? Like, get Strom's money, man.
He's awesome.
He's money. So it's one of those things where I know the numbers are the numbers. And it's a bit small sample size because the starters have been going so deep into games
it's a very small sample size.
That it kind of jacks it up when they do pitch and have bad outings. But I still feel I'm very, very bullish on the bullpen. Now, what they need, and man, you want to talk, if there's one thing that is maybe my wheelhouse, right? I think that if there's wheelhouse things in the sport of baseball, something that I love more than anything in the world, it's a good old righty reliever trade.
Yeah. There's a few things you like more in life, much less baseball.
I don't know why, man. I am a role players guy.
You always have been.
All I care about in basketball. Like, do you have enough role players to win? The Sixers don't.
True. Yeah.
The Sixers
It's
don't.
good.
And like role players in baseball, I care about the most because I think it matters. I'm a fringe rostersman.
You really are a fringe roster.
Yeah, dude. That's all I care about.
You get way more excited about the 23rd guy on the roster than you do the first.
Dude, it's why linebacking is my favorite position in football. It is, dude.
Bad.
It's not even pander to Ike. I've told him a million times. Like, I've always been a linebacker guy.
Yeah.
And they suck at linebacker. So, yeah, that's why I hate the Eagles so much. Because they can't find a freaking linebacker, but they might have this year.
Trout Jr., uh-oh.
But, like, they need another righty reliever bad.
Yeah.
I mean, because and maybe that's why Marte's been pitching more and more in these high leverage spots because he might be their second best option. Although Kirkring was
third,
good
I think Kirkring's good.
And he'll continue to work his way back. They haven't felt comfortable pitching him in back-to-back games yet, so whatever. But Kirkring on the way back, Hoffman, Sir Anthony's a huge question mark. And, like, I appreciate that they're working on a new pitch with him, but, like, he clearly – I actually hope he accepts. I hope he accepts a trip.
So we talked about this last time on the pod, and then since then he went out and had another bad outing.
So, all right, hold on.
He shouldn't have been put in the game. So I agree with you on this.
So I agree. But if we're gonna, all right, let's get full on excuse making because
no one better at this.
There
was no one alive who was better.
Because I feel like there's only one safe space to bring this up, and it's this podcast. Yeah. If I put it on Twitter, I'm getting called a homer. If I talk about it on WIP, I'm getting my own sad violin.
Yes.
So I have to do it on this podcast.
Do you play for yourself?
No, dude, but it's my new favorite bit is that so Spike's been like so hard about it.
So you just play the sad violin.
And then, like sad violin.
It's a great bit.
He gets so mad.
Yeah.
He gets so mad. But it's
the
greatest.
Yeah, it's great.
So Castellanos was basically 10 inches from 2 doubles yesterday. So really he was 2 for 4 with raising that slugging percentage. Dude, Sir Anthony was looking pretty good, and then he missed his spot by 5 feet. Like he
missed his spot. Like Garrett Stubbs is like up here, like up high. He's like high fastball, buddy, and it's like in the ground outside. It was like could not have come further away.
I think if Sir Anthony could have located that pitch a little bit better.
Yeah, sure.
He's back, man, because he's good. He's good on Friday against the Padres.
In the 9-3 game or whatever. That's where he should be pitching.
Yes, I agree.
A tie game. What are you doing?
Just saying. Saw something. A lot of negativity on Sir Anthony.
The stuff that's the fastball's there, but it's just nothing else. It to your point initially, and I think it's what you said on the last pod too. Like it's an in his head thing. It's not an arm issue. Like the arm is live. It's that this guy doesn't trust it.
I think it'd be smart for him.
I agree.
I know he can't. He has to accept the trip to the minor leagues. Like he can't. They can't just option him there.
Well, that's the point. I mean, but look. I mean, as a good example, I mean, point to Jose Abreu. I mean, Jose Abreu is making $19 million this year, and
I know. But the more obvious one, I thought was Alvarado. I was just
but Alvarado didn't have to agree to it. They just sent Alvarado, and he didn't have 5 years at that time. Alvarado did not have to agree. They just chose to send him down. I'm saying Jose Abreu, who's been in the league forever, making $19 million, agreed to go to the minors because he was the worst hitter in baseball. But still, that's a World Series winner. That's a, like that, right?
Well, he wasn't on the 22 team,
wasn't he? No, he's only been there 1 year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, Yuli was the first.
Okay. Yeah, well, he obviously wasn't on the 22 team because he wasn't in that series. Huh? He's only 1 year with the.
It was bad, dude. I drafted him early in fantasy last year.
For some reason, I thought he was there. Either way, he's been in baseball a long time.
Former MVP.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, there you go.
He's a former MVP. By the way, speaking of real quick, like at some point, I keep waiting for the Astros to figure it out. They're 10-19.
Yeah, dude, they might not.
Dude, they're behind the A's are 4-15-7.
Yeah, I know. By the way, Mason Miller.
I know. No, I had him written down. I would trade you. I would. Like I would.
I would trade.
I would ship you.
I'd be
Oakland.
like, yep, I'm going to Oakland, guys, for the good of the Phillies. I'll do it. Dude, did you notice? I don't know. I didn't know it was possible. You know what his whip is? Somehow he has a minus .14 whip. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it. I don't get it. That's what I saw.
Hits per innings pitched.
Yeah.
You mean fielding independent pitching?
No, maybe it's his FIP that's that low, but his whip is. Hold on, I'll pull up his whip. I know it was like .01.
I do not believe you can have a negative.
I didn't think you could either. Hold on. I'm going to look. Ready?
Okay.
Mason Miller, his whip, right now.
Yes. We're all waiting with.
Oh, yeah. So he's got a negative FIP. That's what he has. He has a
Yeah.
minus .07 FIP, which is, I mean, I don't know how it's unbelievable. All right. And his whip is, hold on, as I scroll over
Good.
on the old graphs here. I guess I got to go to the
Just
different thing. They give you so many different options here. Advanced, that should have a whip, right? Here we go. Oh, nope. Advanced is not it. Would that
No,
be
it doesn't.
standard? We made it standard?
I think it's standard. Yes.
Whip is standard these days.
Oh
man.
yeah. No, we've come. Full
We've
circle.
come really far. All right, you're right. Here we go. All right, so nope. This
is going well. No.
This is going really good. So it didn't change over to
No, his whip is .76.
0.76. All right,
Yeah.
so the FIP is what I saw.
His FIP is negative .07.
Negative .07.
His ERA plus is 301.
What?
Yeah, which is pretty ridiculous,
What
dude.
is that?
301 is insane.
Dude, he's got a 1.1 WAR as a closer.
Dude, he's
I
got
mean, think about that.
he's got 29 strikeouts in 14 innings.
Is
So-
he the most dominant guy you remember? Like just for a closer guy, like in terms of
Dude,
right now.
So he reminds me. There's nothing like when a closer gets on a run like this.
Oh,
Because he reminds me of Gagne. It reminds me of Edwin Diaz
Mhm.
in Seattle, where it's just like,
wow.
game over.
Yeah.
I mean, just stuff pops. And the funniest part about Mason Miller, and maybe it points out just colossal of a failure I am, but yeah, he's a D3 guy.
Oh,
Dude, he's a
wow.
Division
Was he
3
really?
guy.
Wow.
Yes.
Do you feel like kinship?
No, well, he's below. I pitched at a higher level. I did pitch at a higher level. Also, I don't know if I brought this up in this podcast, but if you want to go by like resume, I'm way more qualified to coach the Eagles than Sirianni.
Really?
He's
Okay.
a D3 guy.
What a pivot that was. Of all the things,
He's a Division
of
3 coach.
all the things that could have come out of his
Division
mouth
3
there,
player.
that was
Did he even play the game?
okay. What about the whole coaching career up till then?
Yeah. If I got into
What
coaching.
about playing the actual sport that he's coaching?
No, I'm saying like all right.
Okay.
I meant I'm more qualified to manage the
Baseball,
Phillies
gotcha,
than he is to coach the Eagles.
Good
And it's why I have a hard time believing him.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was
Thank you.
Very ridiculous.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
like it.
Mason Miller's dope though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wonder if John Fisher just, despite everyone, just trades him.
Oh, he almost definitely will. I would think.
Well,
right?
eventually, I'm talking about like right now.
It-
He's
it
got
will all
like
be
6 more
hilarious.
years of.
Just to say screw
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
fans,
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's done and
So
everything.
I thought you'd appreciate this. It feels like a Seltzer tweet that he would see, and he'd be like, "This is the greatest thing that I've ever seen." But-
that was a pretty good impression of me.
But
That was really good.
did you see the tweet yesterday that it was like an owner that hates a team, a lights out closer. I've seen this movie before.
Oh,
It was-
the Major
it
League.
was
Yeah, I
Major
did.
League,
It was
yeah.
so good.
Yeah, it's perfect.
A
It's
perfect team. It really was. It
It's
was
been good, dude. Like
I know.
they've got
they're-
some. They got some
yeah.
guys.
I mean, yeah. Again, like they're ahead of the Astros, man. I know. Yeah, and their manager's good. Mark Kotze's a good manager.
Mark
I think
Kotze is a good
he's really
manager.
good. Yeah.
So, and then final point on the Astros before we get out of here.
yeah. Let's. We're just talking AL West baseball,
Yeah,
baby. That's what we're doing here.
Could really use the Astros putting Ryan Presley on the market.
Mm-hmm.
You
He
want-
hasn't been very good though. You think you
not
can
care.
fix him here? You think we can fix Press?
I
mean, a World Series winning closer. That one I'm right about.
Yeah, he's multiple, right? Because he's probably.
Sure, he's won multiple. Was he the closer for?
I think he was a setup guy in 17.
Yeah, I think so too.
Dude.
So.
Again, final thing on the Astros. What a stupid podcast. Why do people listen to this
I
podcast?
have no idea.
So dumb.
I have no idea why anyone ever listens.
And Tucker just sits here like the
Stone face.
Yeah,
yeah.
just
It's kind of
hates
like
it.
yeah. It's almost like I can't tell if he's
likes it or not.
Yeah, he's definitely listening. 'Cause he's like looking at us.
Sure,
He's
yeah, yeah.
engaged.
I'm focused.
But it's like
I know.
stone.
I don't want to
face.
mess with the magic.
Like he doesn't even. I'll like look over. Like I was like that was funny, and Tucker's just like.
Yeah. Are we? Do you like this podcast? Tucker?
it's all right.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I didn't start listening to it before
I know.
they started paying me.
Yeah, exactly. You
Like, if you want me to listen to High Hopes, you got to pay me $50 an episode.
I'm not. I feel like
More
that's the
than-
only way anyone would listen. I don't blame you.
But final point on the Astros. Like, it's so eerily similar what the Astros did in like 14 and what this current Orioles thing looks like.
Oh yeah,
It's wild,
wild.
dude. And it's the same execs. Like, it's
it's
the
exact same people
exact.
went over. Yeah.
So which is better? Bregman, Correa, Springer, Altuve, or Gunnar, Adley, Jackson? I guess like every other prospect.
Kierstead, whoever, yeah. I mean, like, so I'm more excited about I think the Orioles guys, when they, like, as prospects, I think they're better. Like, I think they're more, but, like, you have to give it to the guys who won multiple World Series and, were awesome. Now, granted, there maybe had some,
Yeah, one time.
Other
But they also
factors.
had, like, Ryan Mountcastle, Ryan O'Hearn.
No, they're dudes. I know. I mean,
Corbin Burns is essentially their Verlander grade.
The Orioles are super fun, man.
Gunnar,
Gunnar. That dude's a freaking stud. And Adley. I mean, Adley's a superstar.
Jackson really let me down.
Yeah, that was a tough first go of it. But that happens. I mean, people might not know it. Mike Trout's first month in baseball was a disaster. And then he got sent back down, came back up, and was Mike Trout from then forward. But, this is a very normal thing.
I guess I didn't realize it. I forgot that him and Harper debuted on the same day.
They did?
Yeah.
Clearly, I didn't remember that
Yeah,
either.
they made a big deal out of it the other day.
Especially because it wasn't opening day. That's pretty wild. Yeah. I remember that it was like the same time they were. Like I remember it being around the same time. I certainly don't remember it.
Who could forget? Don Brown was third.
All right, should we talk Phils?
Yeah. Get it back to the Phillies.
All right. I think the biggest thing out of the weekend. We'll get to some other specifics, but I think the Turnbull thing is probably the biggest thing going on with the team right now. Obviously, Taiwan. We talked about his last start. Could have been better.
Well, it's him versus Logan Webb on Sunday. So
yeah. Oh, that'll go well.
Who's gonna win that match?
Yeah, I feel great about that.
The Phillies are gonna win, but
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The Taiwan thing is whatever. We have to live with it.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Do you think it is important for Turnbull not to pitch all season innings wise? Like, do you think there is something to the idea of keeping the arm fresh, giving him some time off, or if you were in charge, would you just let him roll? Forget the Taiwan part of it. And then, how many starts from Taiwan do you think it takes to potentially go back to it if he starts?
Well, so it was interesting. Thomson talked yesterday pregame, and he said he wants to keep his arm. He wants to keep him lengthened out. And what he said was it seemed like it was more about, and it was very coy, but he was like, yeah, this is the piggyback maybe with Chris Sanchez, and I just don't buy that. I think this is we'll keep him stretched out. We'll piggyback him with some of the guys.
When Taiwan stinks, we're gonna go.
But then if Taiwan struggles, we are getting Turnbull back in there. And I know the 54 innings thing that he pitched last year. I know he missed the year before, but like he's got a 1.6, man. Like. I think it's smart to manage him, like manage his innings. But I also don't want him getting too far removed from the rotation, so he could struggle if he gets back in there. So the thing that I've been wondering is, so obviously we've talked about the 6-man thing. I don't really want a 6-man thing, and obviously
obviously Zach Wheeler clearly does not want a 6-man thing.
But I wonder if they could keep Wheeler on
his thing and then kind of mix and match.
Yeah, and like Nola, usually does better with more rest.
I don't hate it.
So, like, if you could go that way, keep Wheeler on his regular day, and then put Turnbull in there where
and then sometimes maybe Nola gets 2 days extra, or this or that. Whatever. Look, I love it. I think it's a great idea.
I don't know why you can't keep.
Well, again, it's the question of do other guys feel like Wheeler? Do other guys feel like, and we know that Nola's been better with longer rest, but just in general, in terms of mentally going forward, like, will Nola be all right? Maybe going 6 days sometimes, 5 days, 7 days, whatever it is. Like, will these guys, can they all function with it? Because Wheeler clearly couldn't, Now, the other interesting part about Turnbull that I think has to be factored in, given how much Sir Anthony has struggled, is could he be like a high-end reliever? Yeah.
The only issue,
the stuff is there.
The stuff is there.
It's hard for guys to do that, though, especially
I know.
in the middle of the season. Like, to
unless
just
you're
be like,
Mason Miller, and then you can do it.
And then you're no
just
problem.
But then the annoying part about where Turnbull's at right now is, early in the season, it felt a little smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, no, it feels real now. I mean,
dude, everything.
He can walk anybody. Like, the command, it's super impressive.
And all of his stuff looks like it's just taking a little bit of a tick up. Mm-hmm. And like I know it was only 5 innings, and I know it was like 98 pitches or whatever, but like obviously you take that all day. I just maybe they could use him as like a high leverage kind of guy and see how he does in that role. They talked yesterday about wanting to keep him stretched out because I think that it's definitely Taiwan insurance. Again, I just don't know what you do with Taiwan at that point. Do you make him the long man? Like,
well, he can't be. I mean, he could be. I guess he could be Dylan Covey,
mop up guy.
Yeah, seriously.
Mop up guy. Taiwan.
But seriously, I mean, what else is he qualified for at this point? $72 million mop up guy. That's a win right there.
What's what you signed him for?
I will say, the more Turnbull keeps pitching great, like I think it's insanity to take him out of the rotation. I really do. I mean, baseball is a game of runs. It's a game of while guys are locked in, while guys are hot, you take it's like fantasy baseball. Like if you got a dude on your team who's locked in and playing great, he's going to be in your lineup, even at the expense of someone who's playing better, who's a better player. Like, it's all about who's hot, the runs, and this guy is locked in right now. It just seems, I think you just get what you get out of him. Like, it really does seem, look, especially because, the innings thing, sure, you have to be worried about it. It's part of the sport. You can find times later in the season to get him some time off, especially if he's struggling or tiring. But ultimately, theoretically, unless he is just great and keeps being this great and puts himself in front of Chris Sanchez, you don't even need him in the playoffs. You're not going to need a Spencer Turnbull start in the playoffs if all things go according to plan. You're barely going to need a Christopher Sanchez start in the playoffs if things go according to plan. So, just win games while you can with this guy is my general thought.
Wasn't it funny that there's been some talk of well, why don't you get Sanchez out of there? It's like Sanchez pitching to a 3.6 right now too. It's like everyone's
exactly. It's like you get five innings, 4 runs. It's was a disaster for Sanchez.
Yeah, And listen, the last 2 starts have not been the most pro Sanchez, and it's been interesting. Seems like when he was at his best and when he was dominating, going on his run, he was back to 92. Now he starts trying to throw a little bit harder. Might have thrown off his arm slot because that changeup's not moving, and he has no feel for it. It's almost like he's pulling it all the time. And I've never seen that start was maddening.
Yeah,
it was maddening because I've just never seen so many changeups that just look like a curveball to a righty. So it's one to monitor. It's about Taiwan, but I also think it could be about Sanchez. They got to figure out how to get his changeup back to where it was because again, it was one of the best pitchers in the sport or one of the best changeups in the sport.
And he's had it this year. I mean, that 10 strikeout game, he was awesome.
I know. He's a little bit off mechanics wise right now. So it's one to monitor. But yeah, I look forward to Spencer Turnbull pitching.
Me too.
Every 5th.
Me too.
So I would like to keep him out.
Me too. All right. What else from the Anaheim series? Obviously.
Well, how about Bohmer?
Dude, was it 15 straight now?
I think it's 14, but either way.
I think it's 15. Either way, he's. I mean, still batting 360. I mean, dude, it's unbelievable. We talked about it last pod, and you said it coming into the season. I thought you were dead on correct about. We talked so much about Schwarber. The most important lineup thing with this team by far was the cleanup spot and who could step in and fill it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, obviously it's early, but I mean, Bohm he's perfect right now.
Perfect. And I appreciate.
And it was the guy you wanted it to be. You did say, I think it needs to be Alec Bohm ultimately.
I was cool with giving JT the start because I thought JT looked good in spring and he's the veteran and stuff like that. But he looks so confident, at the plate right now with Bohm.
Totally.
It's like he walks up there the old saying, you're seeing a beach ball right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like with him. And there's been a couple even his outs.
He's freaking crushing balls
right through the wall.
Right to the wall, and then also even the strikeout in the first inning, that was an outside pitch. He was right to hold off it, called out, and he looks at the other and he's like, nope. And it's just you could see the command the dude, he was right.
I believe he did throw his helmet still, but
but at first he looked and he was like, no, it's wrong. I'm not talking about not getting upset about it. I'm just saying he was right. He had the right read of the strike zone. He's just been so locked in.
Yeah, and it's good because Bryce had a pretty rough road trip. I mean,
yeah, he did.
All things considered,
got the hit yesterday, but otherwise was really, really struggling.
And he had the big hit. He had I've never seen so many ground rule doubles in a road trip in my life.
Yeah, especially in Anaheim. It felt like there were 6 of them per game.
But Bryce, in the game 2 of the series, just missed a home run. Home run. So even in a clutch moment, it's all right, he still got it. And it's nice that in times when Bryce struggles, the offense isn't completely crater. I know they struck out 18 times yesterday, but they also had their C lineup out there, their getaway day lineup out there yesterday. So
and when guys like Rojas and Castellanos come through, that's the point. Like, so they can kind of lift it up.
You have to sit Rojas after the home run.
No. Again, like in it. Look, the Martian stot out of line against tough lefties thing. Like, it's fine. Like, but it's like, do we always have to do it? Like, does it always have to be like these guys? Like, I need these guys playing like they're gonna probably end at like 140 something. I need them in the 150s. You know what I mean? Like 156, 157. Like, what are we doing here? I think he's overdoing it. At a certain point, you got to give these guys. And I know that guys have been struggling, and Marsh hasn't been as good. You know, he's cooling down a little bit, but like, just at a certain point, you got your line. And I know you got to get guys in, and they're playing a lot of games. I'm not mad about this. I'm really not. I know there are a lot of people. They see the lineup, they freak out. Like, what the hell are you doing? I'm not there. I'm just monitoring it.
Good. We love it.
Fair?
We love a good monitor.
Yeah.
Although I will say, Whit Merrifield's heating up a little bit,
dude.
Like, finally looking like Whit Merrifield.
Yeah, which again, not crazy. Do we think he was not never going to hit again?
Tell me that opposite field hit in the first didn't just look like Polanco.
Oh, it was like
not
a clone.
Second. Whatever. It looked like Polanco.
Ripped the double too. Like, he's been good.
Good.
No, I'm great tag on this the stolen base too. Like, just quick tag in there. Yeah.
So, listen, we love Stott, but like, he also has to start producing a little bit more.
I mean, because Whit is clearly a second baseman. Like, I know they move him around and stuff, but whenever you watch him play, like, he just looks so much more comfortable and so fluid at second. He's a solid second baseman.
Hey, yeah, 100%.
He's not great, but he's solid.
100%. So it's good to see that as of right now, like, the first month was bad, but you're starting to see some signs of life from Whit, and maybe forces his way into the lineup a little bit. So yeah, it was again, the 18 strikeouts yesterday were frustrating, and there's just my only Thomson complaint is that early in the season I saw the logic behind a lot of his moves, and like, if they didn't work out, they didn't work out. But there's just it feels like on this road trip there was more of like, what are we doing with that? So they've
it's
won
the
a
trust
lot
in the guys thing, like we've talked about.
He does, man. So there's just been I don't like the uptick in questionable moves.
I agree.
Because I think his culture is really, really important. It's just like, unfortunately for this team, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, because they're good, it's hard not to watch every game. Like, how's this going to come back?
Of course,
like, come back to bite them in the postseason,
especially with Thomson decisions, because we've had 2 postseasons in a row where Thomson decisions have come back to bite them in massive, important ways, and in spots where every single Phillies fan was watching and saying, "Don't do that." So it's like, it's not just one of these things where it's like 50-50. Oh, I would have brought in Kimbrel. I wouldn't have. 100% of Phillies fans were like, "Don't do that." So like, it amplifies it, and it does make it the type of thing where when he keeps doing these things, even in the regular season, we look at it and say like, I thought you were gonna make different decisions in these situations, and obviously you hope in the playoffs he will. But I'm with you.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's a bit concerning. All right, take back in a sec. Shout out to the Miller Lite Account of the Week, JT Bankers. Today's show is sponsored by Miller Lite and JT Bankers in Sellersville. Check out JT Bankers for every Phillies game and enjoy $3.25 Miller Lite pints. Great deal on their wings with kick-ass barbecue sauce. I am a big fan of anything that is named kick-ass barbecue sauce. Miller Lites are Phil's win. Celebrate responsibly. JT Bankers, a great name for a place, too. Like, right. Jack Fritz name test, like JT Bankers, winner.
I thought it was about JT Realmuto the whole time. I was like, wow, JT Bankers.
That's right.
If JT starts going off, we can call him JT Bankers.
There you go. You can bank on JT at JT Bankers. All right.
That's right. After my first question for you here, I have...
you have a question?
I do, yeah.
Oh, good.
You did break a cardinal sin of this podcast, but we'll get to that in 1 second.
Yeah, I did, buddy. I sure did.
Whose breakout are you buying more? And it's okay to, I don't really want you to answer both. Do you buy Bohm more, or do you buy Ranger more?
I buy Ranger more. But again, I do buy both. Like I even tweeted the other night, I think the Bohm breakout's real. I believe it. But I mean, I think I said before, like everyone's like, oh, Ranger, he's like, look at him, he's like 10th for Cy Young or whatever. Like, I think Ranger could win the Cy Young. Like, I think Ranger is one of like the 3 guys I would pick to win the National League Cy Young right now moving forward. Like, I am all in on the Ranger breakout. Like, I think we're in for a Cy Young type season from Ranger when it's all said and done.
I think I'm Bohm.
Whoa, I did not
Bohm.
expect that.
I think I'm Bohm. I think it's real.
And I think it's real too, for what it's worth. But how, like, because you know Ranger's real. Tell me how you're able to go Bohm over him.
Because I think I love the swing decisions, and like he's always I feel like we're watching a guy mature into being a full on major leaguer in front of our eyes. Like the defense is already dude, he's already surpassed his career WAR. Like
Has he really?
Well, his season high in WAR.
Really?
He's already surpassed it.
Really?
It was pretty much just a hot month. Like he wasn't.
But that's insane.
Yes,
It's not like he's been bad. Like he's been a major leaguer.
Yeah, I buy the hit tool. I buy the swing decisions. He's a really tough out right now.
Yeah.
He's just a
He
really,
really is.
tough out. And he's a classic case of sometimes you got to give these guys some years.
Oh, yeah. Would have thought.
Like,
I mean, he was the third pick in the
He
draft.
was the third pick in the draft. And I'm just letting everyone know the Bohm better than Riley take is
It's simmering.
We're taking.
Simmering.
Might have to take it out. Might have to take it out of the vault. Bring back an old faithful.
Of course, what is it? Was it last night that Riley had the walk-off hit? Or was it?
He stinks.
Good.
What is?
I'm really happy
What
about
are old Austins so far this year? What is Riley doing? Dude, he's batting 235 with 2 home
There you
runs.
go.
What a
There you go.
fraud. Fraud.
Bohm's way better.
Bohm's 10 times better. 387 slug. Can't relate. Cannot relate. So you, one of the things that we've emphasized
to address.
No, one of the things that we emphasized on this podcast, and I would say one of the commandments of the podcast.
You've made it a commandment. Yeah.
Is we don't curse.
We don't. Where are you going with this?
Kids of the Delaware Valley
Where are you going with this?
We're scarred for life.
No, they weren't, because no one heard it until it was heard in a sanitized version.
Yeah. But you dropped a big old F-bomb on the air yesterday. So, I mean, what do you got to say for yourself?
Josh Harris, man.
Be a pro one time.
That's how mad Josh Harris makes me. Here's what I have to say. Thank God for John Middleton. Like, what a treat it is to have an owner of my team who I believe actually cares about my team and cares about winning and cares about me as a fan.
Cares about you.
So, John,
as a dad,
so
he
John,
cares about you.
Thank you, John Middleton. And I stand by what I said about Josh Harris. I hate the guy.
Okay.
That's where I'm at, you know? Own your team, buddy, and
Yes.
stand up and actually make us proud.
So, my one thought on the all right.
Only one.
On the ticket thing.
The ticket. Okay, good.
Because I don't, I gotta be honest. I think it's more embarrassing than cool.
That they did it.
That we've got
That we had
point.
to do it, yeah.
This is, again,
Well, also, it's like them being bullied into it makes it a lot less cool from them perspective as well. Like, they did it because they were publicly shamed, is why.
I hate the idea that
At Philadelphia, I know.
This is not
No.
what the city was built on.
It wouldn't happen at Citibank
This
Park.
is
It
not-
just wouldn't. And I'm so annoyed. Everyone keeps being like, well, I see Mets fans at Citibank Park. It's the regular season. If the Phillies and the Mets played in the playoffs, I promise you, I would bet my life. Yeah, there would be some Met fans in there. There would be, of course. Like, that building is not being taken over by Mets fans. A 0% chance. Less than zero. Can you be less than zero? Less than 0% chance that building is taken over by Mets fans. Like, I'm sorry. It's not happening. It's like, enough with that. Oh, the Mets fans come to Citibank Park. Yeah, in August when the Phillies are bad. Okay? Very different thing. Thank you.
Except for 2 years ago when they let the general throw out the first pitch.
Well, that was a mistake. Yeah,
And-
mistakes were made.
Yeah.
They rectified it. That will never happen again. They learned from it.
They did.
Okay? But yes, that was less than ideal.
Poor Trouty. I mean,
Sucks.
poor
I
Trout.
honestly, can I be honest with you? When I saw the Trout news, my first thought was sorry for Mike. My immediate second thought was sorry for Jack. Like, I went straight to you more than Mike. Like, I felt, it's like, Mike, whatever. He deals every year. He's got hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, for you.
Well, he's only missed, 290 games in the last.
This was like you. Like, it was a radio thing. You'd ask about Trout. You don't think, like, this is like a passion. Like, we had bits planned at the radio station for you.
Yeah.
Like, this was a Fritz thing, and it got yanked from you.
He's only out 4 weeks, and maybe.
Hopefully, maybe. Yeah.
And it just lowers the asking price.
I love that spin.
Because here's the thing, he was trending towards being
He was MVP Trout
cost
again.
a lot.
Yeah.
It cost
He was on his way to. He was leading the league in everything.
Yeah. So besides batting average, I cannot believe his average is 235.
Yeah, but he's got 10 a homer. This and that. You know.
A minor step back. And Castellanos, I hope he enjoyed Anaheim. I hope he enjoyed Anaheim in his time out there. Yep. And final thing here, as a take, aged better. A lot of I will say, I've heated up on the baseball.
You got some takes that have aged better than we thought.
Once I figured out baseball again, it went away for a little bit there. Like 2013 to 2017, really wasn't paying much attention.
Yeah, none of us were.
No, it was bad.
It was really bad.
The Joe Adell take has aged pretty well. Like Joe Adell's a pretty good player.
Yeah, he's solid.
I wish they would have traded for him.
Yeah,
but regardless, a minor victory lap about Joe Adell being serviceable.
He's serviceable. I mean, he was like a top 3 prospect in the sport at one time.
So was Don Brown.
Yeah, but, not that.
Hey, so is that bum Jackson Holiday.
Much more impressive when the before the season starts. You're like, look at this guy in low A, Orion Kirkering. I think he could help the Phillies this year. That was a take that was an all-time take that aged well. Joe Adell is fine.
Joe Adell's a minor victory lap.
One of the best prospects in baseball became a serviceable player.
He
pretty amazing.
Was terrible for a long time.
He was
for a long time.
And I don't think he was ever top 3, but he was like a top.
He was pretty
30.
high. No, he was high up there.
He was pretty high.
He was high up there. So that's all I wanted to say to close out the podcast.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
I'm happy that you thought to bring that up.
And it was good to see Mick.
And it was nice of Joe Adell to strike out against Soto yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a very, very, very important strike. Yeah, it was nice to see Mick, too.
It was nice to see Mick.
It was. That is a bad baseball team.
Yeah.
Like, without Mike Trout in that lineup, it is an ugly. I mean, I like Renegfro. Like, I think he's a fun player. Like, he's your 5-hitter or 4-hitter one day, whatever.
Well, Taylor Ward's a good player.
Taylor Ward's fine. He's a 3-hitter, Taylor Ward. That's what you got.
I know. It's all right.
They're bad.
And, well, Pablo Sandoval.
10's right, not great.
Not Pablo Sandoval.
No,
Sandoval.
yeah.
He was a longtime Fritz
guy. In fact, I got some serious fantasy losses last year from his first few outings having him on my team.
No, like my first instinct on Fritz guy is always wrong. Like last year's Patrick Sandoval, and then this year's DL Hall.
Yeah.
Everyone after that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, you have one other bad one. It's you get a little lockdown on Brewers. Aaron Ashby was a tough call.
Aaron Ashby was horrible,
yeah.
but
but otherwise you've been pretty great. We talked about Bryce Miller and Nick Lodolo. I mentioned them on the last pod. What did they do the next day? They come out and freaking deal, man. And then Lodolo, 11 strikeouts, struck out everyone in the lineup. What a stud.
Official statement on my Brewers guys that are Fritz list guys.
Yes.
When they're good, it's because I have info. When they're when they're bad, it's
because you did it on your own.
No. When they're bad, it's he was wrong.
Oh, I like this. That's good.
It's not me. This is strictly.
Yeah. I like
someone I know.
Yeah, someone you know. I'm sure people could do some sleuthing and figure it out. It's not that hard.
Yeah,
all right.
It's not.
No, it's really not.
Although I don't know how many people were paying attention.
That's a good
during
point.
the time.
Yeah.
When he was here.
Yeah, back when the Phillies were not as good.
Horrible, dude.
Yeah, horrible. All right. You got anything else?
I don't think so.
So, weird series this weekend. Oh, by the way, if you're going to the ballpark tomorrow, I'll be there. Friday night, hanging with my brother. I'm taking my brother to a baseball game tomorrow night. Not you, my other brother, Lil Pete, coming down.
Okay.
So, Pete and I are going to go to a baseball game tomorrow.
Are you going to wear the City Connect?
No, but it is funny because we were trying to decide whether to go Friday or Saturday, and Friday was what worked out. And he's like, part of the reason he wanted to go Saturday was so that he didn't have to watch the City Connects. I was like, dude, come on. Like, you're being ridiculous. He's like, but I'm only going to go to a couple games this year. I'd like to see the Phillies play. And, Philly. I'm like, bro, think about it as a novelty. It's pretty fun to go watch that weird uniform game.
So when it was 4:05 on Monday.
That's how much he hates the City Connects is the point. Yeah.
So when it was 4:05 on Monday, I was like, oh, they're in San Francisco.
So that was the other thing I was going to bring up.
Why are they playing at 4:05?
Such a weird, it's a wraparound. I have no idea why. Apparently, it's Bark at the Park on Monday for that, so that's always fun to watch. I know those are Emily's favorite games to watch, like dogs. But so it probably means we'll record Tuesday, which is weird, but that's what we'll do because we wait till the end of the series.
Sunday night Taiwan.
Yeah. Oh, is it a Sunday night game? Oh, so we wouldn't have recorded. Okay, so that's perfect. So but we'll be back on Tuesday. 4 games set with the Giants coming to town. Are you a little? What level of bummed are you that it's no longer the Gabe Kapler thing? It takes like a little fun out of it,
A little
right?
fun out of
yeah.
it. Although it will be nice to see Bob Melvin again.
Yeah, sure. We can thank him personally. Be like, Bob, thank you.
We should give Bob a standing ovation.
Hero. We should.
Yeah.
We should.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, the Josh Hader signing not working out so good for the Astros.
No, it's not. It's been a tough year for the Astros. Real shame.
Yeah. Did we talk enough Astros on this pod, though, if we really think back?
We could want to talk more.
No.
We could find something to talk about, Is there anyone from the Astros we can steal the trade deadline?
Can we get Kyle Tucker? Because that'd be pretty. I know we don't need a left-handed bat, but I love that guy.
Yeah.
I love that guy. I think he's such a fun player. Anyway.
I agree.
That's all we got.
Yeah.
We'll be back. 4-game series. Hopefully, what split? Give us split?
Always a split.
Always split.
Always a split.
Yeah, we're going with
Anything but 3 out of 4.
Yeah,
Fuck.
the other way.
Yeah.